Hi everyone, Matt Bernier here for Weekend Wrap, taking a look back at the Summer Stakes that was run up at Woodbine Sunday afternoon. For 2-year-old males, they're going a mile on the turf. It's a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. As they break from the gate, you're going to see, keep an eye on the number 1 horse. He broke a little bit slow. That horse is named Untamed Domain for Graham Motion. He's in those West Point Silks, and it might be a name that you're going to want to familiarize yourself with. Meanwhile, on the front end, you have El Dolce out there setting the pace. He's an 8-to-1 shot. Just outside of him, taking up a pretty good stalking position under a nice hard hold beneath John Velasquez's Hem Pem Hooray, who went off as your 8-to-5 favorite. Meanwhile, you see right now, mid-pack down on the inside, that is Untamed Domain. He's pulling a little bit beneath Joe Bravo. And Bravo, after the race, said this is a big horse. He's learning, he's figuring things out, and he needs to learn. But the talent is there. There's no question about that. And at this point, he's finally kind of relaxed a little bit. He's come to terms, come to hand now for Bravo. On the front end, you see the fractions being cut out, 23-4, 47-2 by El Dolce. Unfortunately for he and his connections, he's going to get a little bit short as they turn for home and get down the lane. Keep in mind, this long stretch at Woodbine is going to be a test for any horse, let alone inexperienced 2-year-olds. Meanwhile, keep an eye on that number 1. He's going to start to angle out right now. It's going to take him a little while to hit his best stride, because you see on the front end, you've got Hem Pem Hooray out there. You've got Admiralty Pier. You've got a couple of nice horses that they're throwing it down. And for a moment, it looks like Untamed Domain is just kind of floundering. But this goes back to what Joe was talking about afterward, that he just seems like he's a big boy and he's got to figure things out, because once he does finally get down to business, you're going to see this stride. He's going to run down this horse, Hem Pem Hooray, who is a nice runner in his own right. But he's going to run him down here in the shadow of the wire. He's going to get the job done. Little fist pump from Bravo here under the wire. Untamed Domain gets the job done, pays $8 on the win end. Hem Pem Hooray runs second, $3.10 to place. Admiralty Pier runs third, $3.80 to show. The $2 exact comes back $24.50. $2 trifecta, $110.40. The $1 superfecta, $196.55. Untamed Domain is by a horse called Animal Kingdom. Animal Kingdom, arguably the biggest and most well-known horse that Graham Motion has trained in his career. Hopefully for Graham's sake and anybody else that's associated with this horse, like father, like son. Untamed Domain, he's really not done a heck of a lot wrong, but you can tell that there is still some growing up to do. He's won 2 from 4 lifetime starts. He's banked over $165,000. Now he is a graded stakes winner, and it is on to a race like the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. Now, I think something else that came up in some of the post-race comments, and this is a tip of the cap to Motion, this was the first time this horse has had blinkers on, and maybe that's what he's needed all along. Again, you go back and watch the tape, you can see him swapping the leads, but once he does finally level off, he really does finish like a good thing. He came home in 22-3. That's a serious come-home time, especially when you consider he was a little bit keen, a little bit eager early on. This is a fascinating horse. I think distance is only going to be his friend, because he galloped out beautifully. And I don't want to take anything away from the other horses that ran in this race. You've got some nice ones, particularly Hem Pem Hooray. There's nothing wrong there. Admiralty Pier, obviously, and El Dolce, who was out there cutting out those fractions. But at the same time, to me anyway, in the immediate aftermath, it feels like Untamed Domain is the kind of horse that I'm always looking for horses that at this point, if you have the ability and you're still green, I actually look at that as a positive, because you're still beating your contemporaries and you don't really know what you're doing just yet. Once he puts it all together, this is a horse that I think the ceiling is just, who knows how high it is. I think that it's one of those things where when he really finally figures out what he's doing, he could be a major racehorse. He earns a 75 buyer here, a 98 time form US rating, and it is on to the Breeders' Cup at the Del Mar Thoroughbred Club for this one. It was a win in, you're in the Summer Stakes. He won. He is in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. That is Untamed Domain.